Hello, welcome back. In this video we're going to discuss the mobile application, the console mobile application. It's a smartphone application and it lets you manage your AWS account and resources on the go. Application features a dashboard showing key information about your AWS account and the resources, including service health. You can view any current health issues with any AWS service across different regions. You can view your CloudWatch alarms, view alarms, graphs, and current alarm status. You can get your billing. You can view your current billing balance and graph of usage and your current charges. You can also use the application to make limited changes to some AWS resources, including CloudWatch alarms, EC2 security groups, EC2 instances, and CloudFormation stacks. For example, you could view or modify an alarm. You could start or stop a EC2 instance. Supported services. The application doesn't support all the services and resources. Services it does support currently are billing and cost management, CloudFormation, CloudWatch, DynamoDB, EC2, Elastic Beanstalk, load balancing, OpsWorks, the health dashboard, RDS, the relational database service, Route 53, S3, VPCs, your virtual private clouds. The requirements to run the mobile application: it supports Apple iOS 7.0 and higher and Android 4.0 and higher. You can download it from the Amazon App Store, Google Play, or iTunes. And when you first launch the application, it'll prompt you to authenticate to an existing AWS account by adding an identity. You can add multiple identities, which is handy if you need to keep an eye on multiple AWS accounts. And you can authenticate in any of the following ways: with the root account, with an IAM user, access key, and secret key. So those are the three ways. And then the application is especially convenient for looking up important information on the go. For instance, you can quickly see how an S3 bucket policy is configured, or like I said, stop and start an EC2 instance. There's a lot of features that for many administrators, convenience to have it accessible via the phone. Of course, it's not everything. If you need more, then you need to use the web console or the command line interface. The command line interface is a unified command line tool that allows you to manage your AWS. This gives you access to everything, right? It gives you access to the public application interfaces or APIs for all the AWS services, and including all new ones. Within 180 days of the launch of the service, it'll have the APIs available in the management console, in the command line interface. Anything you can do in the management console, you can do from the command line interface. And in fact, there are things in the command line interface that you can do that you cannot do in the console. The CLI is useful for performing repetitive tasks such as launching EC2 instances, taking snapshots, attaching policies to IAM users. You can enter AWS commands manually for convenience, or you can incorporate them into a script for automation. For example, you can write a report script that allows you to show all your S3 buckets or all your running EC2 instances. The command line interface is a versatile tool, and that can save you a lot of time versus the AWS management console. Alright, so let me go ahead and let's see here, kind of show you the UI or the command line. So one thing you can do is, first, I'm going to go ahead and delete these. We don't need these anymore. So if you still have these, go ahead and terminate these, terminate the instances. So now they're terminating. It's good to just free up resources. But if you see this box right up here by the bell, it's got a command line prompt, and if you click on it, it'll open up a command shell, and it will initialize the environment for you. So there's nothing to install. So you can actually do the command line environment or the command line tool from your web browser. This is a very convenient, easy way to run the command line without having to install the command line. We'll give this a minute while that's running. I'm going to go and stop this for a second. And then I'm going to pull this up and pull up this here. Alright, so one way to install it is to get the command line installer. Oops, I don't want this. I want this. Okay, so the command cloud shell is up. So, but anyway, we go and you get the installer, and then it's just the S3 Amazon AWS-CLI/AWS CLI setup.exe. So you get that, double click it and install it. Once it's installed, you need to generate the access key for the user. And so you need an access key for the user. You need to enter in the region you want to deal with and enter the default output information. So let's just do this. So let's try. Let's go ahead and do this. Well, I've already got it installed, so all right. What I'll need to do is create an account. So let's go back over here, and we actually, we'll just create a new account. So go to security, go to IAM. We're going to go users, and we're going to add a user, and this is going to be CLI test, and we're going to have programming access. We won't even give them console access, we'll just give them CLI access. Next, we'll do permissions. Once again, we'll give them admin access. Next, and this is where you could add a key, but we'll, or a tag, and we're not going to add that. So we got this. We're going to create the user. Alright, so now it was created. This time it's got an access key and it's got a secret key, and we'll need those here in just a minute. So what I need to do is open up my command prompt and AS. I want configure, if I'm correct. Yeah, AS configure, AWS configure. So then this is where it's going to ask for your access key. So then I need to go to my web page here. This is my access key. I'll just click on this to copy it, and we'll go ahead and paste this in. And it's not copying. There we go. Alright, so it's got my access key. Now it needs my secret key. So I'll go back to my new user. I'm going to show my secret key. I'm going to grab and copy my secret key and go to my window, edit and paste, and there's my secret key. And then a default region, US East 1. I like that, so I'm just going to hit enter. Default format type, I'm going to put JSON. And then now we're there. And so now what I need to do is I can run some commands. So I can run some commands like list keys. So AWS IAM list keys. We can do AWS S3 list ls. So this will list my buckets. Right, it should only have one bucket if this is correctly tied to my TCCD account, and it is, and the TCC Dev Cloud is my bucket. So right, if I go back here and go to my services and go to S3, I have the one TCC Dev Cloud bucket. So that is correct. So I know I'm in my right account, because I do have multiple accounts. So I need to make sure that I'm in the right account. So I've set this up to the right account, but then I didn't have to install it. I could have went and used the web cloud, right? Remember when I clicked on this button here, I've got this command prompt. I don't have to give it my key or anything because I'm already logged in. And then I can do AWS S3 LS, and I get the same results. And so I can run the command line interface here from the web, instead of having to install it on my machine. But it's very powerful, and so I can run every command. I can do all the administration. If you can do it in Amazon AWS, you can do it here in this Cloud Shell, or the command line interface that you install. It has full access, depending on the rights, right? So I gave this user admin access, and so they had full access. Now the thing is, right here, I'm using the access of who I logged into the web console, so it's using that user. So the user here is different than the user that I'm using from the command line. right? So this command line is using the new user that I created, whereas the web console is using the user that I'm logged in, which is actually not even a user in this account. It is a user in another account that I've given rights in a role. It has a role, an admin role, and so it's using a role that's in this account. It's not even a user in this account, and so I can do that. You could have done the same thing with Active Directory and did a federated account, so you could use your Active Directory and use this process. And I like this process where you're not putting in the keys. I don't like the fact that I have these keys stored here. Let's see here. I want to say, where is the AWS? Let's see here. Let's see here. dir. Yeah. .aws. So if I cd to .aws and dir and cd to my credentials. Okay, oh, it's not in. I'm sorry, it's not a directory, but so we just do type credentials, more credentials. There. All right. So there you have my access keys. So now I'm gonna have to destroy those, right? But they're on my computer, right? I don't like that. I don't like that at all. So I'm going to have to destroy these credentials and create new ones, right? Yeah, I don't like that they're stored there. Whereas here, I just logged in. I logged in with multi-factor authentication. It's safer with multi-factor authentication, and my access keys aren't listed out anywhere. So I do prefer this, but yeah, I do prefer it a lot. But maybe with scripts and things like that, it might not be as convenient. But it's a good way to manage the AWS through here. All right, so I'm going to make a note here that I need to reset my credentials. I'm going to probably just delete the one user, but my other account, because it shows both credentials, I'm going to have to update my access keys. Alright, so let's go back here and go back to the slides here. So requirements, the command line interface is compatible with Windows, Mac, and Linux. And then to connect the AWS using the CLI, your network should allow outbound access on port 443, and you also need an IM access key and secret key to authenticate using the CLI. And then and I just showed you how you can create the user and the access key. We can create new ones, right? So we can go back here. Go to IM. And so we'll go to these users and we'll go to CLS test, security credentials, and here's my access access keys, so I can make them inactive, deactivate, and then I can create a new access key. Right, and then easily create a new one, and then it's good to go. Right, delete. All right, and then I want to delete this key because I don't want it to accidentally become active. So now my access key is gone, and I'll be doing that on my other user too for the other account. But then you can create your access keys. As long as you have the access keys, you can access the CLI. And like I say, you just go and do the AWS credentials, and then you can add the credentials, and it just goes through that process of setting up the command line interface. Alright, and we covered the installation. Let's see here. But the AWS CLI also comes pre-installed on Linux images that are available in Amazon. So if you want to run the CLI from an EC2 instance, if you're running an AMI Linux, Amazon Linux AMI, there's no need to install it. It's already installed. But you can also install it. You can use Python and pip on any supported operating system. You can install the CLI using the Python pip package manager. This method is recommended by AWS as it allows you to easily upgrade to new versions of the CLI. And you'll need the following to install the AWS CLI using Python and pip. So you use version Python 2 version 2.65 or higher, or Python version 3 version 3.3 or higher. If you have a choice, always go with Python 3. Then you'll need the pip package installer. This comes with Python version 2.79 and higher, and Python version 3.4 and higher. You can download it from python.org. Let's see here. Then of course you need internet access during installation, and alright, so you can do it with the standalone installer like I showed you. You can download it, but the using Python and pip installer is the preferred method. But there is a standalone installer for Linux and Mac, and is bundled and includes the CLI, but you need Python installed, but you don't need the pip manager if you're doing the standalone. And the instructions, let me see here, it's a pretty lengthy URL. But it's available in the docs. It's installing and updating and uninstalling the AWS CLI. Version 2, right? So you can go to the documents, right? So go to AWS documentation, right? So docs.awsamazon.com, and then we want to go with AWS Management Console. No, excuse me. SDKs, toolkits. Where was it? Well, let's just go back. It was command line interface. So where am I not seeing the command line interface? Command line interface. There it is under SDKs and toolkits. So just go to docs.amazon.com, docs.aws.amazon.com, and then scroll to the bottom, SDKs and toolkits, command line interface, and then user guide, installing AWS, and then version 2, and then if you've got Mac, here's the installations for that, and Linux, here's there, and Windows. All right, so you can follow along and do the installations there. All right, so I think, because right now we'll go ahead and stop here. We'll pick up on SDKs in the next video.